What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV back here for another predicted lineup video. It is the last home game of the season as we face Brentford in what could be, will be Lucas Moura's last home game ever for Tottenham Hotspur. I don't expect him to start, but I do imagine he might get some minutes at the end to say his goodbye to the fans, or it might just be on the lap of not so much honour after the game, where the players will do their lap around the stadium showing their appreciation to the fans. Ryan Mason has been in his press conference and he's talking about his injury news, so let's talk about that. Rodrigo Bentancur, Ryan Sessegnon, Hugo Lloris all remain injured, and Ryan has said in his press conference that Eric Dyer and Japhet Tanganga are getting better and it will be touch and go if they play or not, but I do imagine they will not be seen this weekend. Definitely on the pitch anyway. So let's get straight into the lineup. We're going for a 3-4-3 formation as per usual. In goal, seeing as Hugo Lloris is out injured, Fraser Forster will be between the sticks, and I've got no problem with that whatsoever. I think Fraser Forster has been a really good adequate replacement for Hugo Lloris. If not, he's been even better than Hugo Lloris has been this season, so I have no problems with having Fraser Forster in goal for this game. In terms of the back three, on the right side of the back three, we are going to go for Emerson Royal. He stepped in really well, albeit last game maybe wasn't the best performance from Emerson Royal, but I do feel we're much more defensively solid when he's there as opposed to when he's not there. Next to him, we're going to have Cuti Romero in the middle of that back three. And I think Cuti Romero, again, it wasn't a great display from him last time out, but the last game he did play there, the 2 games ago when he played in that back three, in the middle of the back three, he was absolutely sensational. So hopefully he can get back to those levels this weekend against Brentford. To make up that back three, it's a toss-up between Clement Longley and Ben Davis. We have just about sided with Ben Davis for this one, seeing as Clement Longley has played in that position for the last couple of games. Ben Davis has usually been playing on the left wing, but we do envisage Ben Davis being tucked into that back three for this game, the last game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium this season. Let's talk about the wing backs now, and in terms of the right hand side, it will be Pedro Porro. We don't have anyone else to play there, and I'm really liking the look of what Pedro Porro brings to this team, especially going forward. Defensively, obviously we know he's got a lot of work to do, but with Emerson Royal and Cuti Romero behind him, that should add to that defensive solidity. So Pedro Porro should be able to hurt Brentford a lot going forward the other way. And on the left-hand side, we're giving a return to the side to Ivan Perisic, and that should give us a double threat on either side of those wing-backs, with Perisic and Porro pushing really high up the pitch and really trying to improvise for us going forward. So let's run through that back line with you guys one more time. In goal is Fraser Forster, Pedro Porro right wing back, Ivan Perisic left wing back, with Emerson Royal, Cuti Romero and Ben Davis making up that back three. In terms of the double pivot in the middle, look, Ryan Mason has been speaking about this in his press conference about Yves Bissouma, and he says, I think when players train and they train fully, then in my eyes they're fit to play and got a decision to make. And he was talking about Yves Bissouma. So we actually imagine that Yves Bissouma might get his first start in a very long time at the expense of Ollie Skip. So alongside Yves Bissouma will be Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. And I, for one, are quite excited to see this duo in the middle of the park. I've gone on record to say that I think our best 2 midfielders at the football club are Bissouma and Bentancur. Obviously, Bentancur is out for the foreseeable, so I would like to see Højbjerg and Bissouma and see how they can work together, because I think it could be a really good option for us, albeit Bissouma is usually much better in the middle three, but let's see what Ryan Mason can do with him in that middle two. So Bissouma and Højbjerg in the middle two. In terms of the right-hand side of the attack, we're going to go for Dejan Kulusevski. Richarlison just hasn't done it for me. I think he's had enough chances over the past couple of weeks, and he just hasn't grabbed them with both hands. And I think when Kulusevski came on last week, he really did make an impact, and I thought he looked really good. So Kulusevski should be starting this one. On the left-hand side, these ones are a bit easier. Heung-min Son is most definitely going to play. Obviously, he's been getting better and better as the season has gone on, in my opinion. And then up top, we are going to see Harry Kane. Could this be his last home game? I hope not. I don't think it will be, but there is always that possibility as well, with the rumours going to be rife all throughout the summer. But let's run through that lineup with you guys one more time. In goal, Fraser Forster. Right centre-back, Emerson Royal. In the middle will be Cuti Romero. On the left, Ben Davis. Right wing-back, Pedro Porro. Left wing back, Ivan Perisic. A middle two of Yves Bissouma and Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. Kulusevski on the right-hand side of the attack. Heung-min Son on the left side of the attack. And Harry Kane up top. And that is our predicted lineup for the last game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for this season. In terms of what we're fighting for, look, we are only 1 point behind Brighton to make it into the top 6, but I just feel like it is going to be a step too far. I think Brighton will get more points from us from now until the end of the season, albeit they do have very hard games. So there is a slight opportunity for us to nick that top 6 spot if we do go and win this game this weekend. But I do think that we will end up finishing probably in the Conference League spot. So I think that's what we're fighting for with Aston Villa. And you know what? If we lose to Brentford this weekend, they come into the mix for the European spots as well, going into the last game of the season. But in terms of prediction, I am going to go for 1-0 to Spurs. I'm going to back the boys to get the win in the last home game of the season. Our home form has been fairly good throughout the season. Our away form has been totally tragic, not winning an away game since January at that game against Fulham. But I'm going to go for 1-0 to Tottenham Hotspur. Sim has gone for 1-1. So make of that what you will. But let me know your score predictions in the comments. Let me know your predicted lineup in the comments, and let me know what you thought of our predicted lineup. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.